Welcome back, Wolfpack Vrolos here, and this is how to use Floatzel. So Floatzel, besides being a really cool looking Pokemon, I gotta say has some pretty decent stats that we have tried to make sweepers out of less Pokemon. Now you don't have the most hardcore sweeping stats, but you do have something to work with, and that's going to be pretty nice. So 105 on the attack. Alright, we can boost that, we can find ways around it, we can make it work, and then that can be pretty strong. And also 115 speed. Well, that's actually a pretty good speed tier. That's going to outspeed in around like the top 45 or so Pokemon. So if we just invest in Speedy Nature, we're going to be faster than most of the Pokemon in the game easily, and that's a really good thing. Also, 85 on the hit points means we might survive a hit as long as it isn't super effective. Being a pure water typing just helps that only two weaknesses, grass and electric, are going to be pretty good for your typing, and then you don't have to worry about too much. Generally a reliable typing just to take a lot of neutral hits and survive. Also you get steel, fire, water, and ice resists, so that's pretty nice too. Hopping into Pokemon Showdown, we're going to see that Floatzel, it can run with like a lot of speed, get some bulk up into it, and that's pretty good. So as I said, Jolly Nature, 115 base speed, find as many outspeeds as possible, invest the rest into attack, put the 4 points into hit points, and then we're good to go. So this is going to make it to where we're alright. 309, so we're breaking 300 at that level 100 mark for the attack, and if we drop down to level 50 for those stats, still looking pretty good. So my idea is bulk up, that generally with this, we already saw that you have enough bulk to potentially survive a neutral hit. So if you see that neutral hit, use bulk up, and now you're still looking really fast. That you're going to bulk up before your opponent attacks you. So if they're using physical, good chances are you're going to survive it even better. And now you're at a really reasonable attack. You're at 450 attack, and then you have Waterfall for the stab, Ice Punch for the coverage, and then kind of whatever from here. That there are a lot of things you can do. You have Crunch, you have Brick Break, you have Facade, but if you're running Water Veil, you don't have to worry about getting burned, so you don't need Facade, but that's where you come into like this weird, interesting matchup. Do you want Swift Swim? You can run this Pokemon in a Rain Dance team and get a lot of power from that, or you just run Water Veil, and then it's like, okay, they might try to Will-O-Wisp me with some kind of status Pokemon because I'm bulking up. Like, if anything, Water Veil is actually really good with this bulk up set because you're trying to bait out that Will-O-Wisp. You're going, hey, I'm getting really strong physically. What's your answer to that? And then they answer wrong, and then that could work out pretty well. Other than that, there's not too much else. We can also look at maybe Iron Tail. Now, Iron Tail does have really low accuracy, but if you do want a fairy killing move, that's going to work out pretty well. Baton Pass. People option on the Baton Pass. The idea is you use bulk up, you get that Baton Pass, you try to scout, like, you know, is Waterfall going to be good enough for a KO? Is Ice Punch there? If you're bringing in Floatzel in the mid to late game, this could be pretty huge. Stealth Rocks, other residual damage has lowered your opponent's strength. They don't expect the bulk up. Suddenly a Waterfall, that's a KO right there. Now you're still going to be faster in a lot of situations. You Baton Pass out into another Pokemon. That Pokemon has free defense and attack. After Floatzel already scored a KO, then Floatzel can come back in later and still have some good chip damage with Waterfall and Ice Punch. So Floatzel can actually be pretty good as like a revenge pivot Pokemon, get a quick setup, potentially score that KO, and then make something out of it. As for items, tough call on items. Life Orb, going to give you more damage, just going to be really good all around. Citrus Berry might help with a setup, might help in a physical situation that, you know, if you use bulk up twice against a not super powerful physical Pokemon, but a tankier physical Pokemon, you're going to be able to bulk up against it really well, get a lot of Waterfall, Ice Punch damage after those bulk ups, or you can also go with a Focus Sash. Now, this is where it gets interesting because, you know, Focus Sash, it's more anticipative. They're going to bring in electric type. They're going to try to manhandle you really well with super effective hits, so that means extra bulk ups. Another chance to score a KO, bulk up into Waterfall. Not enough KO chance. Then you get another Waterfall. That might be enough right there. After the Focus Sash procs, you know, you can get into some weird setup wars, but if you're not expecting the Focus Sash, it can work in your favor. Another thing that Floatzel has, Aquajet. I mean, like, we can't not talk about Aquajet on a Pokemon like Floatzel. The thing about Aquajet, though, you're looking to be an outspeed Pokemon. You don't want to be in a situation where you're relying on priority in a lot of situations. Also, it's just not enough damage. Maybe if Floatzel had like a 140 base attack, you know, if we get a Mega Floatzel, bulk up into Aquajet might be some real business, but I don't know about that. And lastly, Me First. I feel Me First is a very, very underrated move. Copies your foe's attack and then does 50% more power. You must be faster. Well, you're going to be faster than most Pokemon with that 115 base speed anyways. So this is where I'm looking at, okay, Life Orb, you know, you bulk up into the Me First with that Life Orb damage, that's definitely going to be a KO. problem about running Life Orb with this is you're taking a hit from that bulk up setup, and you might just go down to your own Life Orb if you do 1 or 2 hits of damage, but it might be worth it to secure 1 or 2 KOs that you might not have had. So Me First is a heavy outplay potential thing. You get that outspeed, you just do super amounts of damage back, even before bulk up. Me First Life Orb into the right move might be enough. They can just steal their move and maybe get something out of it. There's a lot of really interesting opportunities here with the Me First, so it is worth a mention. After that, we have Special Attacking Floatzel. Special Attacking Floatzel, it's an interesting thing to talk about because you're going to be inferior to Greninja in pretty much every way. That Greninja, it becomes Ice Stab. That you also, you're just faster, you have a higher special attack. But at the same time, it does get the job done. So with this, it is nice to have the Swift Swim. If they do bring Rain, you're going to outspeed, you can set up your own Rain. That's going to outspeed, and then that means you can go Modest Nature, or if you don't really worried about the outspeeds, try to get as much damage as possible. This is just going to be like Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, a hidden power of your choice, and then Focus Blast, or, this is where I was also thinking maybe we can use Icy Wind. Sometimes you see the Icy Wind in singles or Rock Tomb or something like that. You're going to hit your opponent, you're going to make them slower. This lets you carry that Modest Nature. This lets you carry the higher damage nature, but the lower speed nature. Icy Wind into the follow-up for some extra damage. That might be enough to convert a KO. Here's the thing though, you're going to have to run Hydro Pump, you're going to have to run Focus Blast, you're going to need those high base power moves, but that means lower accuracy. So Floatzel is going to be higher risk, less damage than the Greninja, so it's your call there. Also, Ice Beam, you don't need Blizzard with Ice Beam since that's generally always going to be a super effective hit. And then Hidden Power Fire, Hidden Power stuff, or you can just replace it with a Focus Blast. That's kind of what we're dealing with on all of these levels. And then with Floatzel, Floatzel gets access to Switcheroo, which means you can Choice Scarf it, you go up against a lead Pokemon, you Scarf them, and now they can be completely shut down, especially if they're a heavy setup reliant Pokemon. Switcheroo is going to remove a lot of their power, and you just want to do it against tanks or Pokemon that need to set up. That way you're not giving power into the wrong Pokemon. Then you can, after that, just bulk up, Aqua Tail, Ice Punch. I just want to mention Aqua Tail, no additional effect, 5 points more of damage, so it might not be the most. And if not, just got Waterfall, and then the Ice Punch, that's still pretty strong. So the idea is you're looking for the shutdown, you're looking to force a switch, and if you do it right, you steal an item, so you might get the benefits of that item. You have free bulk up into Waterfall, Ice Punch, and damage like that. Now another interesting thing is, do you want the Speedy Nature or the Offensive Nature? Since you're running Scarf, you can run the Offensive Nature initially and you're still going to find the outspeed, but after you lose your Scarf, you might need the Speedy Nature so you can maintain those outspeeds with that 115 base speed. Up to you on what you want to do, and since we're physical, Water Veil yet again, but Switcheroo can really mess up teams, so you're kind of trading Floatzel for shutting down one of your opponent's setup Pokemon, and then getting a little bit of extra damage in from bulk up Waterfall shenanigans. Might be pretty solid just as that 4th move slot from this set, except you're running the Choice Scarf. And also as a final Floatzel, we gotta mention Doubles Rain. That in double battle, you bring a Drizzle Pokemon, you bring a Rain Dance Pokemon, and this actually gives you a lot of freedom. That way you can run Adamant Nature, then you can just go into like a Choice Band or something. That way you're getting the most damage. In Rain, Water type moves are boosted 50%. So Stab, Choice Band, Speed from the Swift Swim, and the Adamant Nature, that's some serious damage right there. Waterfall, going to be devastating. Your Aquajet starts finding 2-hit KO potential in neutral moves, and then that means we can just run hit point bulk. So now we're going to be a bulky Pokemon that people don't expect to be so bulky, gaining a lot of speed, gaining a lot of damage, and it's going to be from that Swift Swim. So Swift Swim Pokemon are always terrifying, and here we can still, Focus Sash with bulk up. That way we have the Choice Band effect, a lot of speed, but the freedom to change around our moves. Me First can work in this situation, and all the other coverage moves that we talked about, like Ice Punch, like anything else. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's how you use Floatzel, and I hope you all have a nice day.